Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's hard level difficulty puzzle, and it's called Focus on Symmetry by Mad Tyus. And here are the rules. Sudoku, fill every row, column, and marked 3x3 box with the digits 1 through 9. That's normal Sudoku rules. Focus cells. There are 9 focus cells in the grid, 1 in each row, column, and marked 3x3 box. The focus cells must contain a complete set of the digits 1 through 9. The value of a focus cell is the sum of the row number and the column number of the cell. For example, row 4, column 8 is a focus if row 4, column 8 is a focus cell. So if, say, this were a focus cell, its value would be 12. So this would be 12 if that's the case. If this were a focus cell. Region sum line. On blue lines, values must have an equal sum n within each 3x3 box it passes through. N may be different for different lines. So as an example, this value must sum up to the same as these 3 values, which must sum up to the same as this value. These 3 values must sum up to the same as these 2 values, which must sum up to be the same as these 2 values, which must sum up to be the same as these 5 values, which then must sum up to be the same as these 2 values. And that's how region sum lines work. So for example, this could be, assuming there were no focus cells, this could be like 9 with 1, 2, and 6, and then this would be 9. And this would work as a region sum line because this would be equal to 9. These 3 would be equal to the sum of 9, and this would be 9. And that's how region sum lines work. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, so what I like doing for these type of clues is numbering, is essentially getting the number for what exactly each value is, right? So for this one, it would be 1 plus 1. So therefore, this would have to be 2 in value. These would be 3 because it's 1 plus 2. These would have to be 4. And then these would be 5. This would be 6. And it's going to continue on in this pattern, right? So just to double check, this is row 2 with column 4. So that's 2 plus 4, which adds up to 6. These would be 8. These would be 9. These would be... Maybe it'd be better to make these colors. I don't know. Anyways, this is 10. There's a lot of colors there, if that were the case. This is 10. These would be 11. These would be 12. These would be 13. So all of these would have to have a 1. This would be with 3. This would be with 4. This is 5. Oh. This is 6. This is 7, and this is 8. So that's 18 in the corner. Okay, let's delete the ones where we don't have any values. So we can remove that, remove these. Remove these 2. That doesn't have to be there. These are not values we care about. This is not a value we care about. Neither is these two. Neither is these three, and this one we don't care about. And we don't care about any of these. And that one, and that one. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. What's the maximum of this value? It could be 17. But then this would be max. So this is max value 17 no matter what. Hmm. What does that mean? I'm not really sure. Hmm. What is this max value? This is either, if this is a focus cell, it's only 7. So this could be at most 9. And if any of these are focus cells, they would be value 9 or greater. Therefore, this cannot be a focus cell because if it's 9, obviously 9 plus another digit can never add up to 9. This can't be a focus cell either. So this is not a focus cell. None of these are focus cells. This cannot be a focus cell because it would be 13, and therefore that would be too high in value. Therefore, this has to be 6 through 9, and these have to be 1 through 6 because it's 1, 2, 6 at most that adds up to 9. And this is this could actually be a focus cell though here. We're not sure though. Okay. Let's see. These could still be focus cells. It's unlikely, but they could be. We have 8 cells here, which could be focus cells. And then a last one where we don't care. I don't know if that gives us anything. One of these is 2 digits that does not have a focus cell. And one of them could have a focus cell. So again, the most of this is 17. The most of this is 17, but that doesn't help us because these could be also focus cells, which make it smaller than the other digits. But this one cannot be. So if one of these were 10, the other one would have to be 17 at least, right? So say one of these was a focus cell, then this has to be 17 at most. So this is 17 at most. If any of these are the focus cells, that would be 15 at minimum with 4 other digits to add up to 17, which is not at most, which is not possible. Therefore, none of these can be the focus cell. So none of these are focus cells. It could be here. It could be one of these 3. This has to be from 1 through 7. the most you can have is 17 again, and that would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 7 as the maximum. So yeah, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we need 1, 2, and 3, I believe. Yes. So the rest of the box must be 4 through 9. Okay. We know 1, 2, and 3 are here because otherwise you can't have 7. Well, actually, we don't know 1, 2, and 3 are there. You could have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. No, that's 18. You do need 1, 2, 3. Right. You don't have to have 1, 2, 3, 6. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Those are the 17s that could be the case. Um, this has to be at least 15. Hmm. Ah. If both of these were essentially non-focus cells, that would mean, so if both of these were non-focus cells, that would mean they would both have to add up to 15, and therefore this would be 15. But to add up to 15, you require either the digits 6 and 9 or 7 and 8. So if neither of these were focus cells, you would have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 6, 7, 8, 9 in these 5 cells. So 5 cells would require 4 digits, which is an impossibility. So therefore, one of these two must be a focus cell. Therefore, this cannot be a focus cell, and neither of these 3 can be focus cells. Because this has to be 6, 7, 8, or 9, right? This could be 14 and 1 or something like that. That would be fine. Which actually doesn't require any 6, 7, 8s, or 9s, right? So, interesting. Um, hmm. We don't have anything here necessarily. So either this one is a focus cell. One of these is a focus cell, apologies, or one of these is a focus cell. Okay. Hmm. Uh, hmm. Oh, interesting. This is 17 at most also. Even if one of these is the focus cell, I guess it could be 18. This could be 18. Right? Because you could have a 9 here and then the focus cell be there, and that would be 9. So that could be 18. Again, this could be 17. This could actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then the 5 becomes a 3 in value. So that would be 13 at minimum for these 5 cells. Interesting. So this is at least 13 and 13. This is 17 at most, and it's the same as these 3. But this could be like 15 and 2, or 15 and 1, or 14 and 1, right? And that would still work. And then both the focus cell and the other digit could be like lows. And then this would be two highs. Hmm. Again, this is 13 at most. Or sorry, 13 at least. Hmm. Oh, that's interesting. Um, hmm. Let's say this. Well, okay, that doesn't work necessarily. Hmm. I was thinking if this was the focus cell, we would know this has to be 6, 7, 8, and 9, but we don't because this could be 13 again. We know one of these is the focus cell because yeah. Um. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so these two can't be focus cells, so we can remove the digits there. Hmm. This could be 18. Yeah. Oh, we don't care about that. So that's fine. Hmm. 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 Okay. Might have to just plug in some tries. What can we deduce anything else? So again, this has to be 13 at least, right? If this is 13, that would mean this is not a focus cell. This could be a focus cell, and that would be 5 and 8. Hmm. 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 Okay, one thing we do know, whatever this cell is cannot be here, and it cannot be here, right? So this specific cell must be one of these three cells. And there must be one of those three cells. I don't know what that really tells us, but um hmm. 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 Um, what else do we know about this? Yeah. It's really this thing that's kind of bothering me. If this 5 becomes a 3 in value. What does that mean if this is the focus cell? Well, it means none of these could be the focus cell. Obviously, none of these would be the focus cell. This would be 13 in value. This could be the focus cell. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, what does what does having these two mean? Doesn't mean anything really. Well, we know the value is at least 15, but that doesn't really tell us much. This value is at least 15. This value is at least 13. We know this is at least 15. Um, what else do we know? We don't actually have very much info. Hmm. 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 Uh, say this were the focus cell. Okay, so if this were the focus cell, that would mean this would have to be 7 because this focus cell now is 7 in value. That would force this to be 1, 2, and 4. One of these two would be the focus cell, which means this could not be the focus cell. None of these could be 7. One of these would be the focus cell, and then one of these would be the focus cell. So 7 would have to be one of these 3 cells, and then 7 would have to be one of those 3 cells. One of these would be the focus cell. So either this is 15, 6, 9, or it's 17, 8, 9. If this were, so this is not the focus cell, this would have to be 6 and 9. So if we had it be 15, that would be 6 and 9. You would have to have 10 with a 5 here. That seems fine. This would then be 1 through 5. So this could not be 4, 5. This could not be 4, 5. Huh, interesting. This could be a focus cell, so this would not be the focus cell. Which means none of these could be the focus cell, and none of these could be the focus cell. Seems fun. Well, this could be the focus cell. I don't know why that couldn't be the focus cell. I think I miscolored there. Again, this could be 13, right? Oh, that's interesting. This would have to be 6, 7, and 9 then. And this would be 3 or 8, and this would be 3 or 8. Huh. Which would mean this is 1, 2, and 4. And then this becomes... Oh, that's very well. Not really that interesting. But this would be essentially 3, 5, 8. No, yeah, this would have to be 3, 5, and 8 specifically. This would be 3, 5, and 8. Interesting. So this would have to be, one of these cells would be 3, 5, and 8, and... Huh. So then this would have to be 5 and 8 specifically. This would be 3. This would be 6, 7, and 9. So this would add up to 13, which would mean this would have to be 6, 7, and this would be 9. And this would be 1, 2, and 4. So this would have to be a 5, which doesn't work. This would have to be a 5 going down to a 3. But the problem is, we know the 3, 5, and 8 all have to be in a focus cell. Because this focus cell is 3, 5, or 8. But it can't be 5 or 8 because they need to add up to 13 at least here. Therefore, this is a 3. This would then be an 8, and this one of these, the focus cell here would have to be a 5, because the only choices are 3, 5, and 8, and 3 and 8 are already chosen. But then this 5 can never go down to a 3 to add up to 13. So the 6 and 9 specifically does not work. When this is 7. Ugh, that's pretty convoluted to get there. I am not looking forward to this. And it has to be this one being 5 and that one being the focus cell, because these adds up to 15. 11 plus 4 would work, but the 4 is already in box 5. Hmm. Uh. Okay, so if this is 8, 9, that's interesting. Then this would have to be, so 7, 8, and 9 would have to be here. Oh, that's interesting. This is 15 at minimum then. Huh, interesting. And therefore this would be 15 at minimum, but the problem is neither of these are the focus cell. And even if they were the focus cell, it doesn't work because you can't have a 7, 8, or 9 here. So the maximum would be 6 and 6, and that would be 12. And we already know two of these at least would be 15. Therefore, you cannot have an 8 and 9 here as the 7. Um, so we tried to assume this was, well, ah, right. So this, yeah, again, this would be the focus, since if this is the focus cell, that makes this not the focus cell. Wait, how does that work? Wait, so none of them work? Huh. Wait. Let's go all the way back. Ooh, something's wrong here. I'm pretty sure this is correct, right? This is row 3 plus column 4 would be 7. This is row 4 with column 5 would be 9. Row 5 and column 5 would be 10. Row 6 and column 5 would be 11. Row 7 and column 6 would be 13. So again, if this were 13, this is 9 at most. So that's not possible. So this is not possible to be a focus cell. Oh, yeah, okay. No. Yeah. We're having a problem here because the problem is if this is not a focus cell and this is not a focus cell, these have to be the same digit. But then it has to be on this line then. And that's a major problem because it cannot be, those can't be focus cells either. So I think you almost guarantee then that you have to have a focus cell there. But the problem is if that's a focus cell, then I'm running into issues here. Right? Okay, so say this is not a focus cell. If this is not a focus cell, this digit must be the same as that digit. Where is it then in column 5? It can't be any of these three because it's here, right? Because this is not the focus cell, right? We're saying if this is not the focus cell, this digit must be the exact same as this digit. So it must be exactly the same, right? And we did show that, yeah, this digit specifically has to be in that digit, which means this has to be the focus cell, right? This digit can never be here. So it has to be here, which means this has to be the focus cell. And this has to be whatever this digit is. So therefore, this has to be the focus cell, which means none of these can be the focus cell. So this has this has value 7. These can't be the focus cells. Therefore, one of these two is the focus cell, so none of these can be the focus cell. Which means none of these are the focus cells. Which means this must be 7. This has to be 1, 2, and 4. Hmm. This has to be 6 and 9. So this has to be 6 and 7, which forces this to be 9. Which means this is 3, 5, and 8. So it must be 5, and therefore this is 3 and 8 in the focus cell. And this is 3 or 8. This is not a focus cell. The problem, yeah, it's just this becomes 0. This becomes 3, 5, and 8. This is 1, 2, and 4. And this is 3, 5, and 8. But this has to be 3, 5, and 8. So this is 3, which makes that 8. So this is 3. But then the 5 has to be here, which means this can no longer be the focus cell. What am I missing here? It feels like I'm missing something obvious. But am I? Oh, it doesn't have to be 5. It doesn't have to be 5. It doesn't have to be 5. Okay, so yeah, it has to go this way then. Because again, the 7, whatever digit here has to be in these 3 digits, which then has to be one of those 3 digits. So it cannot be the same as that. Therefore, this must be the focus cell, which means this can't be the focus cell. These can't be the focus cell. This is some digit going down to 3. And the rest of the digits must be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So therefore, these are not part. These cannot be a focus digit. This must be a focus digit of value 3. So this adds up to 13. Right. Okay. That's what I was missing. Apologies, guys. That was a bad assumption on my part. So these can't be focus cells. This has a value of 3, so this must be 1, 2, 3, and 4 to add up to 13. 3 obviously can't be here, therefore 3 is one of these 3. These can't be focus cells, therefore we can delete the values. This is 7 plus 1, 2, 4 plus 7. This is 10. This is 15, so this has to be 1 through 5. This can't be 4, 5, or 7. This can't be 4, 5. These two must add up to 13. Sorry, 15. Because this is 10, this is 5. This must add up to 15. So this is 5 through 9, but this specifically cannot be 5 or 8, because the 5 has to be one of these two sets here. So it's 3, 5, and 8. This is 6, 7, or 9, and this is 1, 2, or 4. Okay. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This must add up to 13. This must add up to 15. But if this adds up to 13, it does require a digit from 5 through 9 to be with that. So if this is 8, that could be 5. If this is 7, that could be 6. Hmm. This is at minimum 9. So this could be 8 and 1 still. This one doesn't have a value. Hmm. What else can this be? I'm not sure. We do know this is 15. We know this is 15, but it could be a focus cell there. Actually, we know these can't be focus cells. These cannot be focus cells. Oh, so we can remove that value. This specifically adds up to, oh. Ah. We have a 1, 2, 4 triplet in row 3 and a 3. So the rest of the row must be 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. What are the ones that add up to 15? This could be 4 with 5 and 6, but that's the maximum. Therefore, this has to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. And it cannot be 3. Could be 1, 5, 9. That's fine. So this is 1, 2, or 4 because it can't be 3 because we know the 3 is here. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in row 2. So the rest of the row cannot be 1, 2, or 3, or 4. So this has to be 5 through 9. This is 5 through 9. Oh. Okay. So if this is not the focus cell, the problem is both of these cells would have to be from 6 through 9, right? Because it's either 6, 9, or 7, 8. But these two cells require that they be from 6 through 9, and these two cells require they are from 5 through 9. So that would be 6 cells which require 5 digits, which would be an impossibility. Therefore, one of these must be the focus cell, and therefore this cannot be the focus cell. None of these can be the focus cell. So we know one of these two is the focus cell, so this cannot be the focus cell. So this is either 12 and the value of 3, which is impossible because the 3 is here. Therefore, this cannot be the focus cell. And therefore, this must be a 2. And this is a 13 in value, which adds up to 5 with 15. This can't be 2. This is 13 in value, obviously, so that's fine. This is 1, 2, or 4 again. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. That was actually pretty cool. That logic there. This can't be 2. These cannot be focus cells. This can't be a 5 then, because the focus cell here must be a 5. This can't be 3, 5, or 8. It can't be 2. So it could be 1, 4, 6, 7, or 9. These can't be focus cells, so we can delete that. Oops, the 12 value. So one of these is actually a focus cell. So we do have a 10 in value, an 11 in value, or a 13 in value. That's actually very interesting. This is at least 8. Sorry, 9, because it's 1 and 2 plus 6. That doesn't really tell us much. This could be anything then. One of these 3. Oh, that's actually very interesting. Okay, one of these 2 is 5. One of these 5 is 5. So in box 8, the 5 has to be in columns, rows 7 or 8. In box 9, the 5 has to be in rows 7 or 8. Therefore, in box 7, the 5 must be one of those cells. We have a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple in, yeah, in, right. In row 9, we have the 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple, which eliminates 6, 7, 8, and 9 from the rest of the row. So this cannot be 9, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So this must be a 3, which means neither of these can be a 3. This has to be essentially, 1, 2, 4, and 5. There is a 1 or 2 here, which means if this is a 10 or this is a 10, it would have to be with 1 and 2 specifically. And if this were the focus cell, if this were 10, it would be 10 in value, and it would have to be with 1 and 2 specifically to add up to 13. But that's not possible because of this 1-2 pair. Therefore, neither of these can be the focus cell. It could be 9 with 1 and 3. That's possible. If this is the focus cell, that would be 13 in value, and this would be at most 5 and 9 in value, because this could no longer be the focus cell. So therefore, this would be essentially equal to 5 plus 9 at most, which would be 14. And then this would be 13 plus 2 digits, which would be at least 16. So these two could not equal if this was the focus cell. So this cannot be the focus cell. This must be the focus cell, which means this can't be the focus cell, which means this must be the focus cell. So that can't be the focus cell. So this doesn't have a value anymore. This doesn't have a value. We know this is the focus cell. This has to be an 8 because of the values of the focus cell. This must be a 5. This is 11 plus something. So this can never be 1 and 2 here, because this would then add up to 11 at most. So either this is 8, 1, 4, which is 13, which means this would have to be a 2. Or this is 8, 2, 4, which is 14, which would mean this would have to be a 3, but that's not possible. So this has to be 8, 1, 4, which makes this a 2, and that a 2. So this can't be 2 anymore. So now we have 1, 4, and 5, and this is 1 or 4. These can't be 2 and 5. These 3 have to add up to 13 without a 2. It could be 3, 4, and 6. Or Okay, so this can't be 3. This is 11 in value, which adds up to 13, interestingly enough. This can't be 2. This cannot be 3, 5, or 8, or 2, so it's 1, 4, 6, 7, or 9. This can't be 2. This one can't be 2. Interesting. Huh. Where is the 2 that's in a focus cell? Can't be here because of that 2. Can't be here because this has to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't be these 3, obviously, because they're filled in. Can't be this because this is a 2. Can't be these 2 because this is 2. It must be one of these 2. So therefore, one of these 2 has to be a 2, which means this can't be 2 and this can't be 2. Again, this is 13 without a 2 and a 5. So it could be 3, 4, and 6. So one of these would be 3 and 4. You would have a 6, and therefore this would be 3 or 4. Or, I think it has to be 1 and something. 1, 3, 9. That could work. So 1, 3, and 9 works. 1 cannot be with 4 because one of them has to be in these 2 cells. So it cannot be 1, 4, 8. So 8 cannot be on here. 8 cannot be here. 8 cannot be here. Oh, this is 7 or 8. So therefore, this can't be 7 or 8. This is 6 or 9. So where is the 8 then in row 7? It has to be here. So this is 8. This cannot be 8. These can't be 8. These can't be 8. So 8 is one of these 2. This must add up to 13. So it's either 4, 9, 5, 8, or 6, 7. This can't be 8 or 9, so this can't be 4, 5. So far, to add up to 13, you need a 1 or a 4. So it could be 1, 3, 9. It cannot be 1, 4, 8. It can't be 1, 5, 7 because the 5 and 7, can't contain a 5 either. Can't be 1, 6, 6, obviously. So it's either 1, 3, 9 or it's 3, 4, 6. Either way, it requires a 1 or a 4, and one of these is a 1 or a 4. Therefore, we have 2 cells which require a 1 and a 4 in box 7, so the rest of the box cannot contain 1 or 4. So this is 6, 7, or 9. It could be 3, 4, 6, or it's 3, 1, 9. So the 3 has to be one of those 3 cells, so it cannot contain a 3 in this cell either. So it cannot be 1, 3, or 4. Can't be 2 or 6, so it can't be 5. So this is also 6, 7, or 9. Oh, I guess we already kind of knew that because of the 1, 3. Actually, we don't. No, we didn't have that. So this has to be 6, 7, or 9. So one of these is 6 or 9. Yeah. And we have a 6, 7, 9 triplet in row 8. So the rest of the row cannot contain 6, 7, or 9. So this can't be 9. This cannot be 3, 5, 8, or 2. So this is 1, 4, 6, 7, 9 also. Oh, interesting. One of these 2 cells must be 6, 7, or the focus cell in here must be 6, 7, 8, or 9. We have an 8 already. We have 2 others from 6, 7, and 9. Therefore, this must be also 6, 7, and 9. And therefore, we have all the focus cells 6, 7s, and 9s because one of them's here, one of them's here, and the last one has to be here. So none of the other cells can be 6, 7, or 9. This has to be 1 or 4. This has to be 1 or 4. Now, interestingly enough, we now have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintuplet in row 2. And actually, we specifically have a 1, 3, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in column 2. So the rest of the row cannot contain 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this has to be a 5. This means this can't be 5. And the rest of the row cannot contain 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So this can't be 1, 3, or 4, which means this is 6, 9. We have a 6, 9, 6, 9 pair in row 7, which eliminates 6 and 9 from the rest of the row. This is 1, 3, or 4. This has to be 6, 7, 8, or 9. This is 6, 7, 8, or 9. And we know it can't be 8 or 9 here. This can't be 5. Therefore, this must be 6 or 7, which eliminates 6, 7 as a possibility for these two cells here, right? Because that would eliminate all possibilities there. So this can't be 6 or 7. This is 4 or 9 or 5 and 8. We're not sure which. We also know that the 2 in column 2 now has to be one of these two cells. So therefore, this is a 2, and that eliminates all 2's in the rest of the box. So this can't be 2. This is now a 1. So we have now a 1, 4, 1, 4 pair in column 1. So the rest of the cells in that box cannot contain 1 or 4. Or what column cannot contain 1 or 4. So it becomes 2, 3, 5, 6, or 7, or 9. That's a lot. This can't be 9, obviously. This can't be 2 or 5, and this can't be 3. What else do we have? This cannot be 1, 4, because we have a 1, 4, 1, 4 pair. What is this cell? Since this is a 1, 4, 1, 4 pair, and we know these cannot be the same digit, these cannot be the same digit, therefore these two are the same digit. Well, where can it appear? We know these two are the same. Where can it appear in row 4? Obviously not these 3 and not these 3, because these two are the same, and they see these 3 and these 3 respectively. Therefore, it must be one of these 3. The only thing that's there, though, is a 4. So we know now this digit and this digit has to be a 4. And therefore, this is a 1. So we know this is 4. This is 4 because it's the only one possible, because this one can't be 4 because of the 1, 4, 1, 4 pair. This one can't be 4 because of the 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple in column 2. This can only be a 4 because they have to add up to 15. So this is, 13. So this is 4 and 9. This can no longer be 9. None of these can be 9. This has to be a 1 then. So this is 1, which forces this to be 4 and this to be 4. So neither of these can be 4. This can't be 1 anymore. Neither of these can be 1. This can't be 4, and this can't be 4. Now we have a 1, 3, 1, 3 pair in column 3. So the rest of the column cannot be 1 or 3 or 9. So this is 5, 6, 7, or 8. This has to be 3, 6, 7, or 8. And one of these must be an 8. One of these two must be an 8. Okay. This can no longer be a 4. One of these is 3. One of these is 3. So therefore one of these is 3. One of these is 2. None of these can be 2, but that doesn't really tell us anything. Okay, what about this? Okay, we have 5 digits in box 2. Sorry, box 3 from 5 through 9. So that eliminates 5 through 9 from the rest of the box. Therefore, this must be 1, 2, 3, and 4. The 2 can't be here. The 4 can't be here. This is 1 or 3. If this were 5, at most this would add up to 8. But that's not possible because we know this adds up to 9 at least. Therefore, this cannot be 5. I don't know if that tells us anything. Can this ever be 2 and 4? This would then be minimum 12. But this could be 3 and 9 to add up to 12. So that's possible. We know this is 1 or 4. Adding up to 15. If it's 4, it's 5 and 6. If it's 1, it's 5, 9, or it's 6, 8. So 7 can never be here. Right? It's 4, 5, 6. Or it's 1, 5, 9, or 1, 6, 8. Hmm. Ah. Where is this 5 or 8? It cannot be here because of the focus cells. It cannot be here because it sees that one. Therefore, it must be that one. Therefore, this cannot be 6 or 7. It has to specifically be 5 or 8, and it matches this cell specifically. What about this one? It could be either of these two. So, therefore, the blue must be one of those two. It's not helpful, unfortunately. Okay, so if this is 4, 5, 6, obviously one of these is 5 and 8, right? And then, therefore, there's a 5 and 8 here. If this is 1, then it's either 5, 9 or 6, 8. So there's a 5 or 8 here, too. And then there will be a 5 or 8 here. So one cell of these has to be a 5 or 8. This obviously is a 5 or 8. Therefore, the rest of the row 3 cannot contain a 5 or 8. So this cannot be 5 or 8. It must be a 6, 7, or 9. This could be 1, 3, and 9. That's fine. Or it's 3, 4, and 6. I don't know what that tells us anything. We do know that the 4 has to be here, right? Because in row 7, this can't be 4. So the 4 has to be in one of those two cells, which eliminates 4 from the rest of the cells. Don't know if that helps very much. This cannot be 8 or 9. And it cannot be 2 or 4. So this could be 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. That's still pretty broad. Oh, interesting. So if this is 4, that would mean this can't be 4, so one of these two would have to be 4. So neither of these could be 4. This would have to necessarily be 4. which I guess could be 1, 4, and 6. Ah, yeah. So if this is 4, this can't be 4 anymore, so 4 must be one of these two, which means this would have to be a 4 then. And then this is at minimum 1, 4, and 6, which is 11. So 1 cannot be there if that's the case, because this is at minimum, at maximum 1 and 9 if you have a 1 there. So you can never have a 1 here, because if this is not 1, it's a 4, which eliminates the 4 here, which eliminates the 4 here, which makes that a 4. So this becomes 1, 4, 6 at minimum, which is greater than what 1 and 9 would be, which is the maximum. So this can never be 1, because if this is 1, obviously this can't be 1. And if this is 4, this adds up to 11, and 1 and 9 can never add up to 11. So this is always 3. So this cannot be 3, this can't be 3, this can't be 3. Okay, so this could be 3, 6, 3, 7, 3, 8, 3, 9. If this is 4, this has to be 5 and 6, which would force this to be 8. Which would make that an 8 and that a 5. So that could work if that's 4, 1, 6, and this is 8. Or it could be 4, 2, 6, and this is 9, and that would be 8. So that works both ways. Huh. Hmm. Part of the question then is, can it be 168, right? If this is 168, that means this is 5, which makes that a 5. This has to be a 5. This can't be 5 anymore. This has to be 5, which means this can't be 5. That seems okay. One of these two is 4. Yeah. That seems fine. 9 has to be one of these two cells. If it's 4 with 5 and 6, this would be 5 and 6. This would then be 8, which means this is 8. And this would have to be 5. And then this would not be 4. One of these is 4, which means this is 4. This would then have to be 6. And this would be 1 or 2. So this would be 8 or 9. That seems fine too. Hmm. Okay. These are opposites. Let's make this, I don't know, pink. And this orange. So then the pink would have to be here, because it could not be here. So this would be pink. This is orange. So then orange would be one of these two. Ah. The pink. Well, not sure. Well, the orange definitely cannot be either of these two. Hmm. Okay, let's make it... this is yellow. Whichever one is in the focus cell is the yellow. So it cannot be either of this one. It has to be then one of these two. That doesn't really tell us much. Hmm. If this is 3, 6... Oh, this can't be 3 and 6. If this is 3, 6, then this is 1, 2, 6. And in fact, this can never be 1, 2. If this is 1, 2, the problem is this is 3 and that's 3. Therefore, these two digits must be exactly the same. So this must be 1, 4, or it's 2, 4. And if it's 1, 4, it could be with 7 or 6. If it's 2, 4, it could be with 6. And this would have to be... So this is always 1, 4, or it's 2, 4. So this can never be 1 and 2, because this would be 3, then these two would be exactly the same. Very clever. So this can't be 6 or 7. This can't be 9. So we have 8 or 9 here. This doesn't have to be 8 or 9 here, so we can't eliminate any possibilities there. We know there's a 4 in one of these two cells. We know there's a 4 in one of these three cells, so the 4 has to be in rows 1 and 2 in box 2, and it has to be in rows 1 and 2 in box 3. Therefore, in box 1, where is the 4? It cannot be in rows 1 and 2. It must be in row 3. Does that mean anything? I'm not really sure. Um, hmm. Where is this 679? This 679 cannot be any of these 4 digits, and it can't be any of these digits. These because it sees it, and this one because this is a 5 and an 8. So this one specifically, I don't know, it should actually be green, but we'll just make it light. Has to be one of these two. Well, it has to be there, which means it has to be one of these 3. It cannot be here. It cannot be here. It must be the same as this one then. So this one is light. So therefore, this has to be a 6 or a 9, specifically. And it's the same one as this, and it must be one of these two then. So it cannot be here. This one again. So where is this one? It cannot, it has to be one of these 3, and it's not the one in the focus cell. So this one is the light. And this one cannot be 7 then. So this is 6 or 9. So it has to be the same as here. Therefore, where is this one? This one cannot be here. Where is it in the focus cell? It can't be this one, because we know this one specifically has to go here. So this one must be exactly the same as this one, because it cannot be in any other focus cell. It can't be in this one. It can't be that one. It must be that one. And therefore, this is the same as this, so it must be a 6. So this is 6, this is 6, this is 9. This has to be a 9, this is 9. So this can't be 6, this can't be 6, this can't be 6. This adds up with 9 to 13, so this must be 1, this must be 3. This can't be 3 anymore, so this is 2, this is 4, that's a 1, this is 3. This can't be 6, and this can't be 6. So this cannot be the light. The 9 has to be light here. We can actually remove all the light stuff, because we know the 9's there. This can't be 7, 8, or 9, therefore this is a 6, which makes that a 9. This can't be 6 or 9, so this is 7, which means 7 cannot be here. 9 cannot be here. This can't be 7. What else are we missing? This can't be 1 anymore, so this is 4. Which means that can't be 4, so this is 1, which makes that 4. This can't be 3, so this is a 1, 2, 5 triplet, which means this can't be 1, this is 3 or 4. This can't be 1 anymore, therefore this is 2, which means this can't be 2. So this still could be 1, 4, 8, 1, 4, 6, which would make that 8, or 1, 4, 7, which would make that, okay, it can't be 9. So therefore this is 8, which means this is 11. This must add up to 11, therefore this must be 6, which makes that 7. This can't be 8 anymore, so this is 5, which makes that 8. This can't be 8, so therefore that's an 8. And the blues are already done then. Therefore, this cannot be 8 or 5, 6, or 9. So this is 7. This cannot be 7 or 8. So it must be 5, 9, or 5, 6 with 1. This can no longer be 7. This can't be 8. Okay. This must be a 7. Right? The focus cell must be a 7 because that's all that's left. And it must be with 8 since 8 can't be here. And since 7 has to be one of these cells in the focus cell, this can never be a 7, which makes that a 9, which means this can't be 9. So this is 5, which makes that 1, which makes that 7. So this can no longer be 7. This is 6, which means none of these can be 6. So this is 3. This becomes 2 and 5, and 2 and 5. This can't be 6. This can't be 5 or 8, because we have a 2, 5, 2, 5 pair, because this can no longer be 6. This can't be 8. This must be a 7, which makes that an 8. This can't be 5, 7 or 8, so this is 5, which makes that a 6. This can't be 5 or 8, so this is 7, which makes that 6, which makes that 7. None of these can be 3 or 7, so this becomes a 6, 8 pair. This obviously can't be 5. Okay. These can no longer be 1. These can't be 9. This can't be a 7, so this must be 8, which makes that a 7. That 7 now must be the focus cell. This can't be a focus cell. This can't be a focus cell, which makes this the focus cell, which makes it a 2. So this can't be 2 now. We have a 1, 4, 1, 4 pair in column 8, so the 1, 4 can never be in that column then for the rest of the column. So this is a 3, this is a 4, this can't be 2, so this is 5, this is 2. What is this? We have 1, 2, 5, and 9 as possibilities here, and this is 1, 2, 3, and 5. Now 1 cannot be here, 2 cannot be here, 2 and 3 can't be here, therefore this is 5, this is 9. Oh yeah, this can't be 2. So this can't be 5, Therefore, this is a 2, which makes that a 5, which makes that a 1, makes that a 2. That has to be a 1. This can't be 8 anymore, so this is 6, which makes that 8. This can't be 9, so this must be 6 and 4, which makes that 1, which makes that 4, which makes that 1. Therefore, this is a 9, and that must be a 3. Whew! Interesting. Yeah. I got a little stuck on this part, unfortunately, but very cool a very cool solve. Lots of really small, minute things that you have to do to try to figure things out, and to limit things. But very fun, very cool. And I enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed the solve too. And I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.